good to see you again. Excited for the week ahead, excited for the last month of the season. I think as you get towards the end, the learning tends to accelerate at a really fast rate. The urgency is high, the motivation is high. It's not hard to get people to show up and work hard. Everything that we need is in front of us, and one day at a time is probably a mentality you've heard from the athletes. They know what needs to be done. Saw some good signs, early in the sets against Purdue, late in the sets against Wisconsin with how we played and battled against a great team, and now it's on to Ohio State and two tough road matches here. Yeah.
How special was it being a part of what you were with that televised broadcast Sunday?
Yeah, it's one of those moments. I think our sport has been working hard, right? I've been involved in different spaces trying to fight for promotion of our sport, and coaches across the country have for quite some time, and to have that opportunity was not lost on me. 99% of it was on the task at hand, but there is that 1% that says, okay, in a great year of media moments in volleyball, this is one of them, and we're here, and I'm glad that Minnesota's a part of that, and looking forward to what's ahead for our game.
Do you have any kind of expectations, or maybe where you'd like to see the sport? With some of the events that have happened this year, what would be the next step you'd like to see volleyball take?
I'm looking forward to the future of the tournament. You think you hear about just the next media rights deal for the women's championships in the NCAA, and where will they be shown, and how will they be shown, and I think every time we've given women's athletics a bigger stage, they've delivered, and so I think that's where my attention turns to next. And I think the Big Ten Network has been a leader in the space of promoting women's volleyball, and Fox stepping up this past weekend was a big deal, and so looking forward to more of that to come.
What did you like about your team from this last road swing?
It's like I said, I liked how we looked early against Purdue. The level of our offense in that first and second set was outstanding. Got ourselves to the doorstep of getting some wins at the end of a set we just couldn't close. And then against Wisconsin, I thought after a disappointing first set, the second and third set all the way until the last point of the match, I saw a team that was competing together, was communicating at a high level, that wasn't giving in, and making their opponents earn every point, and that's a good sign amidst adversity. Yeah.
This weekend, of course, a whole different Ohio State team and a Northwestern team that gave you a good battle.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
The same thing you should expect every weekend in the Big. Yeah. Unexpected, unknown adversity, things that you can't predict, and then probably some people who are going to show up and do a job that maybe we didn't know they were going to do. That's been one part of our team that I've enjoyed is watching some of our role players step into matches and have some strong performances. And so, the two things I'm usually counting on is adversity and then probably a response from someone I'm not really sure who it's going to be.
Fundamentally, is there any aspect, whether that's serving or any part of the game, that's going to be a key for you guys in November?
Yeah, when you think about November, December volleyball, I think you think about serve and serve receive, but you really think about, can you drive the ball high hands? Can you cover? Can you take good swings in transition? Teams are going to extend rallies, and what it takes to kill a ball in December, is usually a good high out of system swing. And can you defend against those? Can you execute those? You start thinking about what the last point of a close match is like, and usually it's one tough swing, against a well-formed block. And we start trying to prepare for that now. Yeah.
Is there a part of this, I know you're saying day to time, is there any element where you have to push aside a feeling of needing to fight an extra level or trying to dig into some space that you haven't found yet? When you have 8 matches left and you're trying to get to the NCAA tournament, and do you put that off to the side and just say, let's just focus on it?
Yeah, I think the gift of adversity is it narrows your focus really tightly, right? Anything that isn't essential to winning, it just goes away. It's not important anymore. And I like that part of it for our athletes and for myself. The other part of it I like is for those of us who've played matches in December, there is no replication for feeling like you have to win this match or it's over. If we have that feeling at the beginning of November and we get to practice it 8 times, I like having 8 chances to practice it before December hits. So if we get that opportunity, we're going to be well seasoned into what that mentality is like to be playing a match where everything's on the line.
Do goals for you shift, or is there? You're having the season that you're having. That kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
So are there larger goals that you look at and say, outside of results-based things that you can take pride in at this point?
Well, I think, do we still look and sound like the values that we talk about at the beginning of the year? I think when you're trying to form the values of a program, if they don't appear in adverse moments, then I don't know. Then what's the point of having them? So I think that's where a lot of my attention turns to in terms of how our staff is coaching, how our players are responding. This is when you instill values, when things are difficult, not when things are easy and everything's going your way. That comes later. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
First of all, obviously really cool on Sunday, being on Fox. Was that something you guys paid attention to or were aware of, or was it just kind of focusing on the match?
Yeah, I mean, I paid attention to it just because I keep up with all the volleyball stuff. I'm a big volleyball nerd, but I knew what was coming, and I thought it was really cool. We addressed it just to make sure that if people were nervous about it, that it was out in the open and that people could voice their nervousness or if they were feeling overwhelmed. But we didn't really stress about it too much. It was just another volleyball game, so we just tried to focus on the game ahead of us.
When you look at the things that have happened this year with college volleyball, Nebraska's outdoor match, obviously a lot of people watched their match with Wisconsin, the one you guys were part of. Did you ever think this was possible growing up?
I hoped it was going to be possible, and I always dreamed of this because I think volleyball is that sport that can take off like this, and I think that's why it is. But I think the more eyes you get on it, the more eyes that are just going to keep coming to it. And once someone sees it in person once, I just don't see how people aren't attracted to the sport. So that's just my personal opinion. But
got plenty of people coming this weekend?
I do. Yeah, I'm super excited to go back to Cavelli and see a bunch of people and just everything that was a big part of my journey. So
what is that team going to look like? Obviously, it's a lot different
yeah.
from last season.
Yeah, it's crazy. Looking at pictures of them, it's just like, that's not even the same team that I was on or all that. But, I mean, they're still Buckeyes, and I know they're going to bring a good fight. And they're still fighting for their lives, too, just like we are. So I think every opponent moving forward, especially ones in tough situations like us, are going to bring their best game. And, I mean, Emily Londott's a beast, so we can just only expect her best and their best. So I'm sure they want to beat me just as much as I want to beat them. So
you've had that home atmosphere behind you there. What kind of atmosphere do you expect as a visitor?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be a little weird. I think I could be welcomed, but I also think it could be like, okay, you're the enemy. So I don't know. I'm really curious, but overall, I think it'll be a really warm welcoming.
What's the mindset now, 1 month in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to keep grinding. We got to get back in the gym today, tomorrow, and the next day. I mean, we still have a chance, and I still think things are improving, and I think if you're in this gym, you know that it's still possible and that you still believe in this team. So I don't really care what anybody else has to say about it. I just know that I still believe and we still believe, and I think big things are coming.
I was wondering about that, even if the path that you're taking is maybe different than what you were expecting. Is there still energy that comes with saying there are things in front of us that we still have a control over, an element of?
100%. It hasn't been ideal. It hasn't been easy. And everybody can agree with that. But the things we're learning and the things that we're growing with, and we don't want to deal with these problems in December or now. We wanted to get ahead of them. And you see teams now kind of losing and they're like, oh, shoot, what do we do now? And they don't have a bunch of time like we did to figure it out and kind of get ahead of it. So I think we're in a good spot. And yeah.
Do you sense, in the position that you're in, finding a way to help maybe younger players, and now I know that you haven't been through this either, but I just wonder if the perspective you have is adding a level of leadership that you...
Absolutely. I think I've learned so much as this has been challenging and something I don't think anybody expected. I think I've learned so much about myself and myself as a leader and just how can I help these girls as much as I can. I only have so much time left, and I want to just leave as much information and just leadership knowledge with them as I can, and I think it's going really well, and we're learning every day, and I love just seeing them grow. I think we're a whole different team than we were when I first got here, and I think we're just a bunch of better teammates and better people, and I just love to see people grow regardless of the outcome of the game.
Anything else for Kylie? Thanks, Kylie.
Thanks, Kylie.
Yep, of course.